Welcome to my class on pelvic stability and mobility. I'm calling it pelvis medicine, medicine for the pelvis. It's going to be short, and before we do that, I'm going to show you an immune boosting breath work that you can do at a time that we really need to clear and open and heal our lungs. So this is a very healing pranayama that is not only good for the respiratory, but it's also good for the brain. And if you have high blood pressure or a heart issue, it's probably not best to do this breath work. You can just breathe deep. Just breathe deep and even, full, and release all the air out. So do that if you feel like this isn't the right thing for you. So it's a little bit of a hyperventilation, just a mild hyperventilation. What that does is it mimics stress in the body, which will relieve your body's anxiety. So it's also good to do if you're feeling anxious or stressed. So it's simply, we're going to breathe out our nose as quickly as we're comfortable breathing out. You're going to exhale the air out your nose for maybe 10 seconds or so. And then we're going to stop, and then we're going to take a nice deep inhale, and we're going to hold it. And then we're going to take a full exhale, then we're going to hold it. And then we're going to inhale about 2/3 of the way and hold, and then exhale fully. And then we'll start over with the breathing. So we'll do 3 cycles. And like I said, if this is uncomfortable for you or you have issues or you get too dizzy, just stop and breathe deeply and fully. Okay, so here we go. Out through the nose. Just push the air out. Stop, inhale. Hold. Exhale fully. Hold. Inhale about 2/3 of the way. Hold. Exhale. We start again. Actually, good core work. Stop, inhale. Hold. Exhale. Hold. Inhale about 2/3 of the way. And hold. Exhale. One more time. Stop and inhale. Hold. Exhale fully. Hold. Inhale, about 2/3. And hold. And exhale. And now just breathe deep and regular. Let your breathing be deep and full and regular. Just notice how you feel. So you've oxygenated your brain, you've increased your lung capacity a little bit, kind of stimulated the respiratory tract to help us stay healthy in these times. Another good thing to do, thymus thump, right? So stimulate your thymus. I do this every morning. Boop, boop, thump, this way like Tarzan, this way like Tarzan. Right? And just stimulate that thymus. Yeah, that's another good thing to do also. Opening the chest, right? So you can simply bring your hands behind you to do a very simple chest opening. All you have to do is bring your hands behind you, lean into it a little bit, open the chest, open the heart, and breathe. Now you can do that anytime, right? Whenever you think of it and you want to get a little health going, right? So now we're going to go on to the pelvic mobility and stability piece. So bring yourself on your mat and start out by hugging yourself. So we're going to start hugging ourselves. You can either do it this way, or if that's too tricky to sit tall and do it that way, bring your hands under your thighs, pull your belly toward your thighs. So whether you're here or here, okay? So we're going to maybe clasp our hands, give ourselves a big hug. So you're going to pull yourself nice and tall, lifting through the crown. Take a nice deep breath, and then as you exhale, just simply curl your tailbone under you and round your low back, right? And mid back. Good. And then pull up and lift tall. Open the chest, open the heart. Inhaling, exhale to curl and round. Really opening the back as well, right? Pull yourself up. Inhale, lift. Shoulders down, exhale, curl and round. And then you're just going to go ahead and slowly come onto your back so you can walk your hands. Maybe you need to bring your feet a little farther. Walk yourself down all the way. And when you come onto your back, bring your feet in line with your sits bones, your heels in line with your sits bones. Put your fingertips on your hip bones and your thumbs on the low ribs. So you just want to feel your pelvis this way, right? And relax your elbows by your side. So the pelvis is going to move in an up and down tilt like that as we breathe. So take a nice deep breath. As you exhale, curl your tailbone upward and let your low back press into the mat. And as you do that, kind of pull up on the perineum and pull in towards your spine with your belly, right? So everything's kind of contracting inward. And then relax everything back to neutral. Exhale, curl the tailbone upward, pressing your low back into the mat and sort of lifting the perineum a little bit and pulling in toward your spine with your belly. Yeah, one more time. So inhale. Exhale, curl the tailbone up. My cat loves to watch me work out because he's my bud. He just likes to hang out and watch. Okay, and then you're going to relax this is called cat Pilates. So you're going to relax your pelvis, keep it in that neutral position so you feel your rib cage on the mat and your hips, but you have that curvature in your low spine. We call it neutral pelvis or neutral spine. So from here, just float the pelvis off the mat about an inch or so. So you want to keep it in neutral, so don't lift too high, right? And we're going to do a lateral tilt. So as you inhale, you're going to kiss the mat with your right cheek, right? And then exhale back to center. Now it's tricky to see me doing this little movement, but it's not a very big movement. So you're going to tilt to the left, kiss the mat with your left hip, and exhale back. Your legs are holding steady. So nothing else is moving. We're isolating the pelvis. As you tilt laterally, side to side, inhale, tilt, exhale, center. Inhale, tilt, exhale, center. One more. Good. Exhale, center. Good. Lower down and take a little tiny break. Keep your hands where they are. Inhale, exhale, float the hips up again. Now, again, we're in the same position with our pelvis, and we're going to just float our left foot off the mat and put it back without letting our pelvis drop. And then our right foot and back. So we want to do this little march without, hopefully, changing the pelvis. It's just holding stable and without letting our feet migrate towards each other, right? Yeah. And we're going to add to that. Take a rest if you need to. We're going to take the left leg and straighten it down the mat without letting our pelvis drop. So check your pelvis, lift it up, lower it down, and bring that foot back. And then we're going to straighten our right leg, lift it up, lower it down, and bring it back. Good. So maybe you want to try that one more time. Left leg straightens and lift and lower. So it's all about stabilizing the pelvis. The pelvis is the engine of our body, right? So it is key in Pilates. Very key part of Pilates. It's all about the pelvis, I say, the center of your body. And then we bring that foot back and relax your hips down for a moment. Relax your arms by your side. If you like, you can have your arms here or here. So we're going to take a nice deep breath. And then this time, as we exhale, we're going to curl our tailbone up, right? And then we're going to continue to peel our spine off the mat, leading with the tailbone. We're leading up with the tailbone up to a bridge, right? Adjust your feet if you need to at this point. Anytime you bridge, you might need to make little adjustments. You can keep your hands here just to feel your pelvis if you want. Also, if you don't want to put them down, you want to just, I like to do this because I like to know where my pelvis is in space. So what we're going to do here is the same lateral tilt, only we're going to scoop. So you're going to tilt your left hip down. You're going to scoop all the way down and up, back to center. Tilt your right hip, scoop all the way down and scoop up and center. So you're doing the lateral tilt with a big old scoop. Back up and really let your pelvis move, right? Tilt and scoop around. Tilt and scoop it up. It's like drawing a figure eight with your hips, basically, right? Scoop and lift, scoop and lift. And then we're going to stay here. And if your hips need to drop, if it's too hard to hold them up, let them drop. Mine sometimes do that, but the main thing is you want to keep them where they're at, not let them move around, right? So wherever your hips want to be, you're going to pick up that left leg, straighten it, right? Kick up, bring it down. Same thing we did before. And again, maybe your hips can stay up here. Maybe they don't need to, maybe they're halfway. Okay, see where we can, it's a little hard for me to keep my hips up. And lift and lower. Some of you can keep your hips up. Some of you maybe need to go way down here, and that's fine too. Okay, so again, left leg, lift, back down, and foot on the mat. Right leg straightens and lift and lower and back to the mat. Good. So from this point, we're going to just press our hips up a little bit more. Press that sacrum up there and then exhale as you melt your ribs, melt your spine all the way down. And you're probably maybe feeling like I am a little bit of stress in the low back from all that work, right? Because you're really working all these muscles and in the stabilizing and the mobilizing. One more thing we're going to do for our pelvic floor. So you're going to lift one leg into what we call table position, tabletop, and then the other leg. And you're just going to take your hands, press them right into your legs like this. And the only thing you're going to do is keep your legs from moving towards you. So inhale, and then as you exhale, curl your tailbone up, press into your legs, right? And then release. Inhale, curl your tailbone up toward the ceiling, pressing into the legs, hold, hold, and release. A little bit of low belly, pelvic floor activation here. Inhale, exhale, press and curl. Release. One more. Press and curl that tailbone up. Hold and relax. Very good. Now hug your knees and stretch your low back by pulling the knees in towards you. Maybe open your knees up. Feel your hip open a little bit. Actually, let's go ahead and do a little stretch for our hips while we're at it, since we just worked that area. If you can, grab the outsides of your feet. If that's too much of a challenge, maybe grab your ankles or your calves, whatever, right? Or even behind your thighs, right? So this is a traditional happy baby pose in yoga. And what I like to do here is grabbing hold of the feet, pull the knees down toward the floor, and curl your tailbone down toward the mat, right? So you're trying to lay your tailbone on the mat as you press your hips open. And I just think it feels great. So if that's comfortable for you, yeah, good. And then bring the soles of your feet together. So we'll open our hips this way in a butterfly or Baddha Konasana in yoga. So supine, Supta Baddha Konasana, practicing my yoga term. So you're going to open those hips, knees apart, yeah. And then we're going to go ahead and rest our feet back on the mat. Stretch your legs out. Let your hips, just feel your hips. How do they feel? How does that whole area feel? It's going to probably feel a little bit stronger from now on. And then go ahead and bring yourself up however you'd like to. So that's our pelvis medicine for today. Thank you for joining me. Next, we're going to do shoulder medicine in the next video. So join me for shoulder medicine, and I'll see you then. Bye now.